Okay, hello. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a pie crust using the KitchenAid mixer. I have the 6-quart professional KitchenAid stand mixer, and we're going to make a pie crust, which is flaky and easy to do. Now, what you're going to need is 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of, well, I use Crisco shortening, not the butter flavor, just the regular shortening. And I've done it both ways, but I found it's easier if you just get the, you can buy the Crisco sticks. There's like 3 to a pack, and each stick is a cup, so you don't have to measure it. Now, the trick is to keep everything cold, cold, cold. Cold is your best friend. So what I do is, when I know I'm going to make a pie crust, I put my mixer bowl and my beater. This is the beater. You use it's the paddle, not the one with the edges, not the beater with the silicone edge, but just your regular beater that comes with your KitchenAid mixer, the original flat paddle. Okay. So I put the bowl and the paddle in the freezer, and I put my flour in the freezer, and when I come home from the store, the shortening, Crisco shortening sticks will be found. They're not refrigerated, but you'll want to put them in the freezer, in the refrigerator also when you get home. So now, what I've done so far is I've already measured my flour and my salt. I put 3 cups of flour and a teaspoon of salt in this bowl here. And I put half of my Crisco, and now what I do, see, it comes in like a log like this. This is half of one because I've already put half in. And I just break it like this with my fingers and drop it into the bowl. And what you hear in the background is our dog Bitsy. She's a miniature dachshund, and she thinks, get down, Bits. She thinks that she has to be in the kitchen whenever my husband and I are, because she's hoping that she'll get something to eat, but she's not going to. Okay, so now, then, and this is a Martha Stewart trick here, then you just take your hand like this, and you make sure that the shortening is kind of covered in flour, like so. And, alright, now I'm going to go out of the camera range just for a second because I want to wash the flour off my hand, and I'll be right back. That's the thing with cooking. I think you must wash your hand 50,000 times during a session. But oh well. I don't know how the cooking shows do it on TV, because they talk the whole time they're cooking, and I run out of things to say. Okay. So now, and another tip, which I didn't heed right that second, but another tip is, when you have Crisco on your hands, don't wash your hands. Always try to wipe your fingers off with a paper towel before you wash your hands, because if you don't, you're going to be washing Crisco forever. Okay, so now we're going to put the the bowl on the mixer, and it's a stand mixer, so I make sure that the hooks are on. And we put the paddle on, lift up, and we mix on speed 2. And sorry it's so loud, but we're going to hear the mixer for a little bit. Every once in a while, then I stop it and I check the mixer. And then I'll show you what it's supposed to look like before we add the ice water. which I forgot to tell you in the recipe. So let me go over the recipe one more time while the mixer's running. You'll need everything cold, remember, except the salt. 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of Crisco shortening, and I use 7 tablespoons of ice water. So I measure my water in a glass and I put that in the refrigerator also. And so now I'm going to stop the mixer and kind of just, it's not quite there yet. It's you want the mixture to be, the flour to be, to look like, the shortening to look like little peas in the flour. You don't want to feel any flour, which we still do feel flour, so we're going to keep mixing. It takes quite a while for the shortening to mix into the flour. Once that mixes in and you add your water, it takes about not even 30 seconds. So, but it's worth it. First, while I'm standing here, I could get the water out. Once the pie crust is made, this makes 3 9-inch pie crust or 2 10-inch. I usually make, out of this recipe, I usually make the 2 10-inch. So what we're going to do, once we get the dough made, we're going to take it out of the bowl and divide the dough in half, and then flatten it into a disc, and you wrap it in saran wrap. And then, if you're going to roll out the crust that day, then you want to put it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes, so that the gluten in the dough can settle. And then, but if you're going to use the pie crust for later, then I put the discs in a Ziploc baggie, and you can freeze it up to 3 months, which is good. Okay, let's check the dough again. And we're still not there. All right, let's yeah, this is where I wish, and I'll just talk anyway. This is where I wish we could pause it, but we can't, because then the people wouldn't have to just sit and hear the mixer running. I should have just had all this mixed up and part of it mixed in the mixer, but I wanted to show you about putting the shortening in the bowl and covering it with flour. Check here. Oh, it's coming along. Yes, yes, yes. We are making progress. See, because now you see, this is when I squeeze it together, it's still kind of crumbly, and I don't want that. I want it to be, but I'd say another minute, and I think we're.
And I'm going to stop this and then continue the next section.
Okay.
And we'll do that. Okay.
Okay, so this is part two. What we've done now is we've mixed our shortening and flour and salt together, and till it's kind of crumbly. And this is what you got. You got, like, see if you can see in my hand. I don't know if you can. You got like a clump of dough and some flour, and that's what you want. And when you squeeze it together, it stays. So now I have my 7 tablespoons of ice water. And while the mixer is running, we pour the water in. Once again, you're on speed 2. And the dough should start to cling to the paddle. It like, let me do it a little bit more, but it has cleaned the bowl. Okay. See, the bowl is, like, the sides of the bowl are clean, and that's what you want. So now we're going to lower the mixer down. And then we're just going to take it off the paddle, and then I'm just going to show you, because I think everybody knows how to divide dough, but I'll show you how you gather it up. And I just take my hand, just like you're going to, like, gather meatloaf to the side of a bowl. And get it all in one big clump here. Trying without dropping. Here, just a second. Okay, just kind of mold it all in one piece, like so. Then some people cut it, but I just kind of take my fingers, my whole hands, and go all the way to the bottom and kind of pull and divide into 2. I'll set this one here for now. 2 wedges. And get out a piece of saran wrap. And I put the dough, in the center, and just kind of flatten it with my hand, make a little disc. Just kind of shape. All right, and then there's the saran wrap sticks, which it always does for me, but oh well. Then I just wrap it up, and I refrigerate, and that until I'm ready to roll out the dough. And that is how you make dough in the KitchenAid mixer. And thank you very much for watching.